the streets, you've heard their music, looked at their artwork, watched their magic tricks, noticed their costume and their talents. You may have spotted them on your journeys around the world or even in your own neighbourhood. Everywhere you go, performers take to the streets to share their unique skills and provide the public around them with art and culture of all shapes and colours. But have you ever met these street performers? We took to the streets of Melbourne, one of Australia's most culturally diverse and creative cities, to get up close and personal with an assortment of buskers ranging from musicians, artists, magicians and more. What does it take to be a street performer? What are the motives, benefits and obstacles? We met some of the characters who are no stranger to showcasing their talents in public spaces. Performing on the streets has its rules and regulations. In Melbourne, there are 4 different permits you can apply for. The 4 categories of busking permits are general area. This permit applies to buskers who do not use any dangerous goods in their performance and may generally busk anywhere in the municipality except for the Bourke Street Mall, designated circle act sites and other restricted areas as specified. The Bourke Street Mall permit applies to professional buskers who perform in the Bourke Street Mall. The pavement art permit applies to artists who are actively engaged in an artistic medium such as chalk art or painting. And finally, the Circle Act, with or without dangerous goods permit, and this applies to performers who have a structured performance that requires an audience to stop, watch and participate in a performance.
I've been a street performer, this is my 30th year. I did my first show when I was 15 and now I'm 45 and I'm still on the streets, so I don't know what that means, positive or negative.
So what's the main motivation for you in your get up today?
Well, you missed all kinds of things. Normally you miss chainsaws, hand grenades, machetes, beds of nails, pitchforks flying around on 2 pieces of wood downling, double-ended knife sticks going over a guy's throat, baseball bats going about an inch from his balls, the normal kind of stuff.
My name's Jason.
Jason?
Yeah,
Cool.
Jason.
And Jason, where are you from?
From Taiwan.
From Taiwan?
It's a little island country in Asia.
I'm from Perth originally, but living in Melbourne for 10 years now.
Okay.
Been busking now for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Around Melbourne. Yeah.
Everywhere or just Swansea Street? Or?
No, all around the place, like Chapel Street, St Kilda. But yeah, city mainly.
I play blues music.
Blues, yeah.
And I play harmonica, I play style guitar and drums.
Yeah.
My foot. And sing a blues song. That's what I do.
Yeah. How long have you been busking for?
Maybe like 10 to 15 years, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, long time. Yeah.
And is this your full-time job or do you do something else as well?
I don't have any other job for last 15 years, so this and festivals and stuff. Yeah.
Festivals, yeah. So do you travel around Australia and?
Yeah, quite often. Yeah, I just next week I have a gig in the Queensland. So.
Queensland. Yeah. Do you go internationally or just Australia?
Not at the moment, just Australia.
Just Australia.
The motivation for most street performers is the freedom, really, that we can travel around the world. That's what got me into it. I can go anywhere in the world and make money, so I've been around the world more times than I can even think of now. And you can always make money, and you just make money having fun, giving people something different. And especially now with the age of the internet and stuff, you're just giving people some live entertainment while they're walking around shopping and stuff like that.
I've performed in 35 countries so far.
Yeah. And how do you find the reception in Melbourne?
I like Melbourne. It's a nice crowd. It's a very, I hate to say it, livable city.
I play the blues, so it's a one-man band thing. So I play the harmonica, the guitar, the stomp box, the tambourine, and the harmonica, and I sing to that.
Yeah.
So that's my bit. That's what I do.
So the appeal is that you're a one-man band doing everything. Is that the appeal?
Yeah, it is a one-man band thing, but I really do the blues, so I'm sort of more inclined to play the old-style blues. And in the old days, the blues was mainly performed by one person.
Right.
Yeah, and now when the electronic stage came in and the electric guitar and that was invented, then you had more a band setup. But in the early days, it was more a one-man show. It was just the guitar, the harmonica, and the vocals.
I've been doing it for 25 years. To be honest, if anyone did half the stuff I did, I would be worried.
Right.
Yeah.
And you do this for a living, don't
Oh yeah, I've been doing it literally for 25 years across 45 countries. God, 20, 25 countries in the last year alone.
From China, just studying in Melbourne like in the past 3 years. So
Okay.
I just finished my study.
Yeah.
And I met Lil actually busking a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And yeah, and then we just started playing together.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know. I didn't like job in Japan, and I quit job and I just traveling and I started to play music on the street.
Yeah.
And it's actually better money than I used to get in Japan.
Wow.
So I just started to more often, I think.
Yeah. So you grew up in Japan and then you moved to Melbourne?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certain times of the month I work a lot.
Yeah.
You know, school halls, Easter weekends, that kind of thing. But yeah.
Yeah. So what kind of locations do you do it in Melbourne?
I've been performing primarily up on Burke Street Mall.
Yeah.
Down South Bank. I prefer South Bank actually. It's a nicer, more mellow vibe.
My original job is street artist at Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanna come to Melbourne, do the same job because a lot of traveler they come to Melbourne. I hope I can draw a lot of people from everywhere, the whole wide world. Yeah.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
you want to draw people from all around the world? Is
Yeah.
that? Yeah. Cool. And how do you find? Do you like doing it in Melbourne so far?
Sure. Yeah.
And are many people wanting to be drawn?
Yes, but a lot of busker is drawing, so maybe I can draw 2 or 3, a day.
I have a family and stuff, I have a mortgage, you know, I never used to, but now things have changed. But yeah, it's a numbers game, the show that you just saw there on the footage. It's a bit of a small one, 'cause it was sort of semi-raining, and now we use microphones, my battery had died, so I just thought I'd just chat to the folks. And things like that, it's a numbers game. If I do that, 5 or 6 times, then I'm going to make enough money like what people would make in a regular job.
Short version, I saw a performer in Munich, Germany on a school trip. Fell in love with the concept. A few years later, I ended up in Santa Cruz, California with a broken down van traveling with a performer and tarot card reader. They both left town, left me alone. I had to get back to Canada. I was working with street kids at the time. And I went out and did all the things I could possibly do, and they adopted me. And I learned the basics from them. And over the years, I've turned it into a completely unique show.
Since 2006, so it's about, nearly 13 years? About 13. Yeah.
Wow. And in Burke Street Mall or all around?
Not really, I travel Australia. Okay. It depends on like when it's winter in Melbourne, I usually head up the coast to Cairns and Noosa Heads and that, and then head back down the coast by around October, November.
During the day, I do more of a adult-friendly show, balloons. Balloons are really a great date thing too. I mean, if you're the kind of cool guy, you go and buy a girl a bouquet of flowers, or show some spunk.
I think Melbourne I really like, and people very nice, so I enjoy playing music too.
Yeah. And do you busk anywhere else in Melbourne or just in the Burke Street Mall?
Sometimes on the Swanson Street too.
No one does exactly what I do.
Yeah.
And if somebody was, I'd stop doing it. But I like to be a little bit different from everybody else. There's people that do similar things, that use similar kind of energies. I do some things that have been done for thousands of years, but I like to think that I do it a little bit differently.
well, main reason is so that I can get out there and do what I love doing rather than working in a cafe or something. I'd rather do what I love.
Did you point to me?
Huh?
I'm working in a cafe.
Hard work.
Yeah, I just like play music, just enjoy music. Because I got
well, that's the thing. Just enjoy it. So it doesn't always pay well, pays up and down, but just balances out because I'm not stuck in a dead-end job.
Are you making much money from it, or?
Not too many.
Not too much, yeah.
But good enough.
Good enough. And is that important to you, making money from it, or? No.
I just wanna enjoy the feeling about doing busking here.
I've just come back from Perth. There's a big student performance festival in Fremantle I was in last weekend. And it's a student performance festival and your crowds are like 600-700 people. So you're going to make a lot more than you made just there.
I started off with stand-up comedy and I found I got fewer knife fights than 5-year-olds.
And how do you teach yourself? How do you learn how to sculpt the balloon?
All the characters I do are my own original designs. Yeah. I do like the flower and the poodle and the sword and that kind of thing, but not much of those anymore. I do everything from Bob Marley, I do Amy Winehouse, Elvis Presley, Scooby-Doo, anything really. But, you know, it's age appropriate, depending on the time of day.
Well, here we are right now in Southbank, or Southgate in Melbourne. And as you see to my right over here, there's other street performers. And we meet up here on this spot at 11 o'clock and we pull numbers out of a hat. Like you can see there's a guy on just over there on my left. He's just starting. And so we pull numbers out of a hat. And then if you come with me, I'll show you. And then we have a list. So we work it all out ourselves. And just here it is on the wall. See, we have a list here with all the different. There was 11 of us today performing, and we all write our times down. There was me at 2:15, me there, but with a question mark, because I think I'll be home then. But and that's how we operate it, and we just and so we just write numbers out of a hat. We put our names on the list, and we're all good comrades. We all hang out together, and we just rock on and try our best and make people happy and try and get some money out of it.
Actually, what is stable these days? I used to be a computer engineer and aircraft service technician. I've probably done more jobs than most people in the world. There isn't much that's stable. The guy that was supposed to replace at Sun Microsystems still works for them because he was never able to retire because of the big computer crash. I can leave countries. I can go to another side of the planet. I can entertain people and make what I need anywhere in the world, with or without language, just by playing. In a sense, that's a lot more stable than a 9-to-5 job where you're depending on somebody else for your living and for your livelihood.
I started off just doing my own stuff, like which is like based on reggae and blues, and then just started learning covers. So because covers are what people really like, and
anywhere, I think the public's really honest. If they don't like something, they just won't tip you. And so if you're living by it, or if you're making a decent income from busking, it's honest and people really do like you, otherwise they wouldn't give you anything.
I study art at my college.
In Taiwan?
Yeah.
And is that popular in Taiwan, the caricatures, or is that your specialty?
Not too popular.
Not too popular, yeah. Cool. And did you had to get a permit to do this? A license?
License.
I
applied at the town hall.
At the town hall?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's a year.
Yeah. And are you meeting other people? Are you meeting many people doing this?
Yeah. From half year, over 100. Over 100.
Oh, you've done over 100 drawings?
Yeah.
In 1 month? No. Since last year.
Also, bar gigs haven't been paying that well, or they don't really pay at all. So some of them. So
you make more money on the street than you maybe with the bar.
Mostly. But that's what I'm trying to change that, so I can get more money in bars, and then that way, like I can fund my own recording. I've been trying to do some recording at home on my computer. But I'd really like to go into a studio sometime and just do it properly, you know.
Sometimes get a good reception, sometimes bad. Like, so you just filmed, everyone was a bit spaced out, and that could be because of the weather, it could be because they're tired. And I could do another show in 5 minutes, and the jokes would land easier, the the reaction will be better.
Melbourne's weird. They're a little bit spoiled. But I do like it. And to be honest, cultural city. It's probably the most cultural city in Australia. There's lots of things to do. It's not isolated like Perth was. It's not full of itself like Sydney was. I probably shouldn't be saying all this, but Adelaide was a little bit more laid back and they were lovely, but I wouldn't want to be there all year.
What do you mean by spoiled?
Spoiled, they've seen so many performers, they'll look at you and walk through and not realize what you can do until the very end when they've missed most of the show. They miss so much because they think they've seen it all, when very rarely have anyone seen anything like what happens.
Busking all over Australia at the moment is it's regularized, so it's controlled.
Yeah.
You can't just set up anywhere. You need permits, and you need public liability as well.
Yeah. So you just can't turn up on this spot and start playing. Someone has to know that you're coming to Bourke Street Mall.
Exactly. You need to go to a buskers meeting, and then we draw names out of a hat, and then that's how you get your spot.
Yeah. So do you consider yourself lucky today that you got this spot, or?
Well, it's a privilege to play in the Bourke Street Mall because people come here to shop rather than they're not just going anywhere. They usually come here to shop, and so you've got a ready market. And that's the good thing about the Bourke Street Mall.
There's particular spots that we can't go, but then everywhere else we can go.
Okay.
There's guidelines like we have to be on this side of the path. You know, we're not allowed to be on the wall facing this way. We've got to be here facing that way. And so like and we can only be in a particular spot for 2 hours at a time. And so there's all these rules that we've got to follow.
It's pretty easy to just abide and get out there.
But I just basically I love magic, and I like, I can practice my art. And you can practice, to be a good performer, you need stage time. And the great thing on the streets, you get a lot of stage time. And then when you work inside, like I do shows in gigs and stuff as well, and you sort of got an extra edge because you've dealt with this sort of situation where anything can happen. You can have a drunk come over, kick over your table, you can have many different things can happen.
You know, usually like if we're doing something wrong, or if a shop makes complaints about us and we're being too loud or something, then they'll call up the council and the busking officer will come and he'll just check our permits and then just say, all right, you guys got to move. That's all. You know, we don't get fined or anything. So it's just like, it's pretty chill.
20-year-old Luke Owens from Bendigo in regional Victoria had a unique and inspiring story around his motives for busking. Luke took his talent to the street for a greater cause.
Tell us what's got you onto the streets performing.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, first of all, I study education as a pre-service teacher. So it was about 2 years ago now, and I was on my teaching rounds at a school here in Bendigo. And there was a grade 4 student in the classroom who would only make it to school on certain days, and she was actually homeless. She was living out in those horrible conditions in Bendigo, in this park. Of certain nights, and also in a caravan park. And she told me all of this on the last day of my teaching rounds. And I thought, first of all, I couldn't believe that this issue existed in Bendigo, and secondly, I felt compelled to want to make a difference. And I thought to myself, I'm only one person, how can I make a difference? And music is my talent, and I thought, well, that's how I can use music to benefit the underprivileged. So that was what first compelled me into busking. As you mentioned, I'm a professional musician, but I also donate a percentage of my proceeds to the charity.
Do you think it's all about your music in the end, or is it about the cause, or is both?
Yeah, it's a good question actually. We don't want to get too egotistical with our music, because we've got some great local talent here. What we had to separate was the music from the cause. The music was sort of catalyst, I suppose is the word you use. Like it was the vehicle for the awareness. So the awareness is always more important. But at the end of the day, the music was just a way of raising that awareness.
I've blown up 3 motorcycles so far. Well, I'm on my 3rd motorcycle in Australia.
Your own motorcycle?
You see that one right over there?
Oh, yeah.
That's what pulls that motorcycle trailer. It's gone from Sydney all the way across to Perth. In years past, I brought a combi from Fremantle, Australia, all the way around the country and back to Fremantle. At the time, I was one of the first performers that had done it in over a decade. I'd done shows in Macedonia without a word of English, and I grunted at my audience. It was absolutely lovely because the audiences just wanted to have fun. The hardest part was keeping them out of the show. Right. Croatia, these guys that were big and tough and full of themselves. I'm man, trying to fight you the whole way through. But they're complete puppy dogs when you walk up and stroke their cheek and pretend to be gay. There's always something in every city that you can find good. You can always find bad if you look for it. You can always find good if you look for it. Be honest, in every city, every town, I found something good and some reason why I liked to work for the people. If I couldn't, then I wouldn't be able to do it. So as much as I rag on cities, I also love something about everyone around the world. Yeah. Or I'll never go back.
Whether you love or hate what you see, hear or experience on the streets, buskers have always been around and will continue to entertain the masses. Would cities be the same without buskers and street performers? Should passers-by be funding the unconventional lifestyle for those who rely solely on donations to live? In a society full of visual advertising and stimulus, how much do you notice buskers and what change are you willing to give away?
What about there's a guy across the street playing similar kind of stuff? Is that he's